Picture this. You're driving down the highway in a heavy, 900-kilogram car, and your shock absorbers are completely blown. You hit just one single bump, and suddenly your car is bouncing up and down, over and over, endlessly down the road. Seriously, why won't it just stop bouncing? Well, this highly annoying, very real-world problem is actually the absolute perfect gateway into understanding one of the most fundamental and honestly fascinating motions in the entire universe. On our agenda today, we have the bouncing car problem, defining simple harmonic motion, calculating period and frequency, the hidden waves, real-world applications, and finally a summary and challenge. By the end of this lecture, you're going to master exactly what this bouncy motion is, the 2 simple rules that govern it, and how you can mathematically calculate it in any real-world example. Let's move right into section 1, defining simple harmonic motion. To figure out our bouncing car, we first need to understand what makes a physical system bouncy in the first place. This brings us to simple harmonic motion, or SHM for short. Now, the technical definition states it's an oscillatory motion for a system, where the net force can be described by Hooke's law. Kind of a mouthful, right? Let's break that down into plain language. It simply means a system that always wants to return to its middle resting point. It gets pulled back to the center by a restoring force, but because it builds up speed along the way, it overshoots that middle point, oscillating equally on both sides. Now, you're going to want to pay attention to the term amplitude, which we represent with a capital X. This is the maximum displacement from that middle equilibrium resting position. So the absolute furthest distance our broken car bounces up or bounces down is its amplitude. And since it's the maximum stretch of the spring, it directly relates to the total energy in the whole oscillation. Okay, let's pause for a quick question to test your intuition here. Imagine you have a spring and you pull it down twice as far, giving it a much larger amplitude. Does it take longer to complete a full bounce? The answer is actually no, and this brilliantly illustrates one of the absolute coolest things about simple harmonic motion. The period and frequency are entirely independent of the amplitude. Think about plucking a guitar string. It plays the exact same frequency, the exact same musical note, whether you pluck it really gently or rip it incredibly hard. The amplitude changes the volume of the sound, sure, but it never changes the timing. All right, section 2, calculating period and frequency. If amplitude doesn't change the timing of the bounce, what actually does? Let's figure out how to calculate it. There are literally only 2 factors that affect the period of a simple harmonic oscillator. That's mass and stiffness. Think about a diving board. If a really heavy person stands on a diving board, they bounce up and down much more slowly than a lighter person would, right? More mass equals a slower bounce. But what if you change the board itself? If you swap a spongy board for a super stiff one, which means it has a large force constant, you vibrate much, much faster. So here's how this translates into our mathematical formula for the period, which is represented by a capital T. Take a look at this. Period equals 2 pi times the square root of m over k. Notice how mass, the m, is on the top of the fraction. That tells us that more mass equals more time to complete a bounce. And stiffness, the force constant k, is on the bottom. A stiffer spring shrinks that time, making it bounce much faster. Let's take this formula and apply it straight back to our 900-kilogram bouncing car. Step 1, we identify our mass. M is 900 kilograms. Step 2, we find our car suspension's force constant k, which in this example is 6.53 times 10 to the 4th newtons per meter. Step 3, we just plug those numbers right into our formula, calculate it out, and we find that one complete, highly annoying bounce of this car takes exactly 0.738 seconds. Moving right along to section 3, the hidden waves. Now that we've got a handle on the basic math, let's make this even easier to grasp visually by connecting this bouncy math to the hidden waves it creates. Imagine setting up a camera in the dark and taking a long exposure, time-lapse photograph of our bouncing car as it drives past you from left to right at a steady speed. If you tracked the glowing headlight of that car, it would physically trace out a perfect, smooth sine wave through the air. All simple harmonic motion is intimately related to sine and cosine waves. It's like a hidden signature. And because it draws this perfect wave, we can map its exact position, its speed, and its pull at any given moment using wave functions. Your displacement, meaning where you are at time t, is a cosine function. Your velocity, how fast you're moving, is a sine function. And your acceleration is also a cosine function, which is directly proportional but pointing in the exact opposite direction to your displacement. Okay, wait, let's look at that velocity formula for a second. You might be asking a really common student question right now. Wait, if the spring is stretched to its absolute maximum amplitude, why does the math say the velocity is 0? Trust me, this is a super common point of confusion. Just think about it logically. When the car bounces to its very highest point, right before it starts coming back down, what does it have to do? It literally has to stop entirely to change direction, right? So at maximum displacement, the velocity has to be 0, even though the spring's pull, and therefore the acceleration, is at its absolute maximum. Section 4, Real-World Applications. Let's step away from the formulas for a moment and connect this back to real life to see where else simple harmonic motion is hiding in plain sight. If you've ever seen an infant bouncing happily in one of those harness toys suspended by a spring from a door frame, you are looking at a perfect simple harmonic oscillator. The child's mass pulling down and the spring's stiffness pulling up completely dictate the time it takes for one bounce, regardless of how high the baby actually manages to jump. All right, here is a quick conceptual test for you directly from the text to see if our earlier diving board analogy really stuck. You're driving on the highway and you pass a freight truck with a trailer. You notice the trailer is bouncing up and down very slowly. So based on that slow bounce, is the trailer heavily loaded or nearly empty? If you said heavily loaded, you are exactly right. A slower bounce means a longer period of oscillation. And looking back at our rules, we know for sure that a larger mass creates a longer period. See? Our formula works brilliantly out there in the real world. Section 5. Summary and Final Challenge. We have covered a lot of ground today. Before we finish up, let's summarize the key points so this firmly sticks in your memory. First, simple harmonic motion is always governed by a restoring force that wants to pull the object back to the middle. That's Hooke's law. Second, the period of that bounce depends only on the mass of the object and the stiffness of the spring. Third, and honestly most surprisingly, amplitude, how hard you pluck the string or pull the string, never changes the frequency. And finally, if you track this motion over time, it draws a perfect sine wave. Now, I want to leave you with a final practical challenge directly from this chapter's exercises to really test your new intuition. If you have a simple harmonic oscillator and you double the spring stiffness, by what factor must you change the mass of the system to keep the exact same frequency? Think about our formula and how you keep that fraction perfectly balanced. I'm going to let you chew on that one. If you want to know the answer and see how these exact same rules apply to something swinging rather than bouncing, you absolutely won't want to miss our next explainer where we tackle this simple pendulum. Until then, keep observing the world